So, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to go through some changes that I plan to make to the 180SX. Starting with the bumper. Well, starting with the body kit actually. Making a start so that we can prepare it for the new body kit. So I'm going to remove all of the panels. Some of these panels, as you can see, are taking a bit of a beating. This one, you could repair it, I guess, but I'm probably just going to put it in the bin. No good to me. If there's anyone out there who would be wanting this for free, then feel free to drop me a message. The same goes for the rear bumper. I believe it's a PS13 rear bumper. Not 100% sure. In fact, actually, probably not, looking at how curved it is. I think the PS13 ones are straight. But either way, it doesn't fit. It never did fit properly, and now it's taken a bit of a beating. So basically, I want to get the bumpers off, the over fenders off, wings, side skirts. Front fenders I'll probably try and sell. They can be used again. They can be repaired. Same as the side skirts and the front bumper. So the plan is to try and recoup a little bit of money. I know it's probably not worth too much, but I'll need to get something back for them at least to put towards the new body kit. So yeah, that is the plan. Hopefully we can make some changes to the 180 along the way as well. One of the things that I would like to do is try and lose some weight over the next few months of building the car. As much as I can, just unnecessary weight really. So yeah, I guess we'll see what we can do with that. So we've had a good run with EP Racing. They were a great sponsor of the team. They provided a lot of body kits and bumpers, etc. Over the years that I was with the team Ben Mist. But yeah, now it's time for change. Obviously not being part of the team anymore and funding it for myself. At least I get to choose which body kit I want. So yeah, the body kit will be coming soon. I'm going to start taking the panels off now, and then we'll see what's behind there, see if there's any rust or damage that we need to take care of. So this Japanese style plate, I've had this for a few years now, and at first it looked pretty cool on the car. I thought kind of in keeping with the fact that it is an imported Japanese car, so originally it would have had a plate like this on it. But as you can see, with the original license plate holder, it doesn't mix well with bumpers coming off of drift cars, and it's taken a bit of a beating. So I'm going to take this off, and although I could probably straighten it out, I'm probably just going to get rid of the plate, throw it in the bin. I've had it a few years now, it's run its time, it's run its course, and now I'm probably going to get rid of it. Yeah, a bit mangled. For anyone who watches this who might not be into drifting, a lot of the time we use cable ties to hold the bumpers on, and the reason for this is that if you were to hit a wall, the cable tie in theory should break and then allow the bumper to just peel off, and in turn save the car. Because of course, if you were to hit the wall and the bumper didn't move, you risk dragging the car into the wall, especially like the front end, and then it could be quite bad. You could end up with a lot of damage, suspension damage, and everything, or even potentially injury. So yeah, fiberglass bumpers, they break, they shatter, or they bend, and the cable ties break off. I had a bumper a couple of years ago. It came off no end of times, and it was always in one piece. I don't actually know what it was made of. Obviously fiberglass, but whether it was like a high quality fiberglass, I don't know. But yeah, flew off loads of times, and it was always in one piece. So yeah, this is the original 180SX bash bar. I had planned the year before last to replace it with a tubed one. The reason being, A, it would probably be stronger to make one out of tube, and B, I can put a jacking point on there. So what a lot of people do is they'll have like a tube section going from side to side, and then they'll have a bit in the middle like a U shape or a V shape of tube with like a jacking point at the bottom. That way you can roll the trolley jack underneath it and jack it up quickly, because the only way to jack it up to get the tyres changed, to do it safely, is to do it on the diff, and the diff is all the way under there, because you don't want to jack these cars up on the seal. If you jack them up on the seal, there's a good chance you'll crush the seal, because they're quite weak. So yeah, especially when they're old and rusty like some of these Nissans are. So that's definitely something that I will be doing over the course of the next few months. I'll be making up a tube bash bar with jacking point. There is another reason that I plan to have a jacking point at the back of the car. However, I don't plan to reveal that yet, because I'm not quite sure how my plans are going to work out. So for now, yeah, we're going to do a jacking point on the back of the car coming up soon. Another thing that I plan to do with this new body kit is make it to be removable quite easily. So instead of cable ties, I'd quite like to use some sort of fastener which would allow quick removal of the front and rear bumpers, especially the front one, just because loading it on and off the trailer, or not just a trailer, but if I ever take to a dyno or anywhere where I need to put it on a ramp, or somewhere I just need to whip the bumper off quick to drive up. So that will be the plan. I might even do the side skirts as well, purely just to make it easy to work on. Sometimes when you put in the ramp arms under, it's difficult to find the location to jack it up, the jacking point. So to be able to just take the side skirts off quickly to get underneath it would make life a lot easier. So I'm definitely going to explore that as a potential option. So the over fenders, you won't be able to see because the wrap is over the top of them, but these are screws just like that one, just a screw and a washer underneath. Some people put rivets on, they rivet their fenders on, but that is quite a permanent way of doing it. I think my last ones were actually riveted on, so that meant drilling off the holes, drilling out the rivets, then they get stuck in the seams or in between the panels, and they can rattle around, and it's just, yeah, it's a lot nicer if you can attach them using a removable fixing. Look at this. So that is like half of a track, half of the racetrack of dirt, tar, gravel, rubber. All of that was stuck behind the panel. So those panels have probably been on for a couple of years, and as you can see, it looks pretty rough. It's taken a bit of a beating here at some point. Yeah, even more crap behind the filler flap. So yeah, not looking so pretty now. It's amazing how all the dirt accumulates. You talk about weight saving, and just having that amount of crap behind the arch would have been beneficial to remove that. Crazy what accumulates. Not very attractive behind the arch, what's left. You can see the original white paint that the car was painted. Then we put the arches on over the top of the rolled standard metal arch. Sorry, the over fenders went over the top. Then it got painted grey, which you can just about see some of. But obviously this patch was missed because it was white and it was covered by an over fender. Did a season or two like that with those over fenders. Then I realised that the wheels we were going to run for the 18s, they needed more clearance, so that meant taking the arch over fender off, and then we cut the arch and then welded it. So we just kind of stitch welded it back. It doesn't look overly pretty, but we knew it was going to be covered by the over fender anyway, and I'd seen quite a few people doing it. So yeah, that's what we did. Then from there we could run the wider, larger over fender. Then the car's got painted red, as you can see, and again it got mist, and obviously over all that time the dirt has built up and looks pretty crap. So it's definitely going to need a wash and a clean pressure wash outside before the new panels go on. However, I haven't ruled out cutting out some more metal work to make, basically just to save a bit more weight and obviously make it more forgiving if I am to hit a wall or an obstacle with the back end of the car. Obviously if something hard goes into there, it's going to stop the car dead, and there's a chance that it might pull the front end into the wall. So yeah, with regards to that, if that was hollow and then just fiberglass panels, it might be a bit more forgiving. So we'll remove all the panels anyway, clean it, and then we'll decide after that. So here's a tip for you: if you're building a drift car or competition car and you're putting body kit on or panels, it's worthwhile keeping the same fixings throughout if you can, and also use the fixings that allow the panel to be removed as easy as possible and as quickly as possible. Yeah, something that I haven't done up until now. I've just used a mixture of screws and bolts with washers and 10mm you know, fixings, nuts and stuff, and although that's fine and the panels will stay on the car, it doesn't make for a speedy removal. So if you do have a front end or rear end or any kind of accident and you need to swap out panels quickly, or you need to just make some repairs and remove the panels to access the area that you're repairing, yeah, it makes sense to have them removable easily. I'm not quite sure on the best way to attach the panels and make them removable. I'm going to start researching fixings and hopefully come up with something. So yeah, as soon as I find something to attach the new panels with, then I'll let you know. As you can see, that is the front over fender removed. It was held on by screw, 10mm fixing. There was another fixing of a 10mm down there, and one underneath on the sill. So pretty much using the factory mounting points, albeit using a few less than as it came out the factory. All of the body kit now removed from the car. I'm going to remove the rear bumper bar or bash bar, crash bar, whatever you want to call it, because as I said earlier, I plan to make a new one of these. I'm also going to take off the number plate or license plate holder. I don't think I'll be needing that anymore, and as well as that, this toe strap. And ideally I'd like to remove all of the brackets and stuff that hold the original tow hook or tow and eye onto it, but we'll see, because I remember before that it wasn't quite as straightforward as that. So yeah, I'll take that off now, and then we'll take the car outside, give it a quick wash off so that it's free of all this dust and kind of dirt, and then we'll start removing some of the stickers, and then I don't know, and then we can sit back and look at the car and what state it's in. Okay, so that is a lot better than it was. It's a lot cleaner now. Not perfect by any means, but it's starting to take shape, and at least it's a good base to start with before we go cutting the metal out and removing the stickers and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna roll it back inside the workshop now, and then we'll continue in there. Okay, so the car's back in the workshop now, and I can reveal the body kit that I have purchased. It's an Origin Labo racing line kit, and it's quite a popular kit now. The last 3 or 4 years it's really gained traction and quite a lot of people are using it, but nonetheless I'm not put off by the fact that there's quite a few of those kits out there. It's a kit that I've always wanted for a long time, and I like the way it looks, so I thought I'm going to do it. I'm going to commit to it, put it on the car, and that in addition with the 75mm fenders front and rear. Possibly a little bit too big in hindsight. I could have probably got away with the plus 55mm over fenders, but still they're here now, so we're going to make the most of them, and at least it will give me loads of clearance for the Wisefab as well. So I've rushed into fitting it up. I say rushed, I've actually taken quite a lot of time on just the front fenders alone, and I can show you them now. So they're not quite finished. I still need to attach them at the seal, and then that will even out that panel gap there. Obviously it gets close at the top, but once that is addressed at the bottom, it adjusts the gap nicely. I managed to reuse some of the original mountings on this side. Managed to drill through there with a large washer, and they're using the M6 fixings. But on the other side, I managed to mount it in 2 places, but on the third one the original fixing was just too close to the edge of the fiberglass panel, so I had to drill through with another, make a fresh hole, and then I put a riv nut in. So riv nuts are really cool, I think anyway. If you've never used or seen riv nuts, what they are basically is you drill a hole in your steel or aluminium, then you insert this basically like a nut that's got like an end that crimps up on the end. So then using a special tool you insert it, and as you pull it tight it crimps it into position, a little bit like I guess you could say like a stud in a hub. It's got like that knurled edge around it, so it grips whatever it's into. And then you have a threaded part that the bolt can go into. So yeah, quite a nice kind of thing to fit onto your car if you need to make a fixing like that. And in my case, obviously with these fiberglass fenders, well, a whole body kit in fact, fits really well for a fiberglass kit, but it's not perfect. So that in combination with a Nissan that's quite rusty and a little bit bent up in places means that you do have to put a bit of effort into making the kit fit properly. The seals for one, where the arches meet, or the over fender, sorry, at the bottom, the seals bend up quite a bit, especially if you jack them with a trolley jack. The seal's just not strong enough. I don't think they were strong enough from the factory, to be quite honest. Not like say a Volkswagen or anything like that. So they just bend up, especially once they're a bit rusty. So yeah, trying to bend them flat and then make up the spacers and stuff to get them fitted, which is what I'm doing now pretty much. So with many parts of this kit I knew I'd have to make my own spacers and brackets to support it and mount it to the car properly. And one of those spacers is actually on the front of the arch, or front of the fender. So there was a gap between this mounting point and the fender, and if I pushed it in to pushed the fender in to meet it, it was putting tension on the rest of the panel. So the best thing to do was make a spacer up, and yeah, fits quite neatly. using an M6 fixing. I will be doing the same on the other side. There's a slightly bigger gap there, so I'm currently in the process of making that. The material that I've chosen is 25mm in diameter, and it's just aluminium. Ordered it off eBay, half a metre of it. It's quite soft, easy to work with, and yeah, just measure it, cut it, drill a hole in the centre, and then you have a spacer. And there we have one fitted up spacer. So quite easy just to fabricate up little alley spacers like that. Yeah, you can buy them off the shelf, and to be quite honest, I've probably got some here in the workshop somewhere. But yeah, you can fabricate them to whatever size you need by just simply cutting them and drilling them. An alley is obviously a soft material, so quite easy to work with.